The Rachel Hollis podcast is proudly sponsored by Amica Insurance. As Amica says, empathy is our best policy. That's why they'll go above and beyond to tailor your insurance coverage to best fit your needs. Whether you're on the road, at home, or traveling along life's journey, their friendly and knowledgeable representatives will work with you to ensure that you have the right coverage in place. Amica will provide you with peace of mind. Go to amica.com to get a quote today.
Whistle while you work.
From Disney on March 21st, the magical tale
Snow White.
Snow White?
Snow White.
that started it all
I believe you're looking for me.
arrives in theaters.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Experience the Disney classic
Who's the fairest one of all?
like never before.
We haven't even been introduced yet.
Disney Snow White, only in theaters March 21st. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Right now, the hard season, right now, post-divorce, right now, you've lost someone you love, right now, you're out of work, right now, you are being guided. You are being guided to the next thing. And if you believe that, and if you stand back up and you keep taking just another step, just another step, just another step, you're going to get out of the valley. And the thing is, the strength that you earned from getting through the valley is exactly what you need to make this dream come true. So I believe, you don't have to believe, I'll believe enough for both of us, that if you have this idea on your heart, there is a reason it is there, and it is possible. It is possible. Hey guys, it's Rach. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. And I have a favor, which sounds kind of harsh if we just met, but I'm assuming that most of you have been a part of this community for a hot minute. And so I gotta ask, are you subscribed to the podcast? Subscribing to the podcast you listen to regularly is one of the best things that you can do for hosts like me. It helps to support the show and the staff that works on it. It ensures that you never miss an episode when we drop a new one. And here's the cool thing about subscribing. If you do it and then you hate this show, just unsubscribe. It's one click away. In the meantime, if you're listening, we would so appreciate it if you would just tap that button and make it official. Today, we're getting motivated. You guys, straight up. That's what I want to do. I want to motivate you today. Whatever it is you're working on, you're going back to school, you're on a health journey, you have a business idea, you got a side hustle, you're trying to train for your first half marathon, whatever it is you're trying to do, today's episode is for you. It is just straight motivation. It is straight energy. It is the kind of thing that I wish I could go access in the world and just hear somebody pump me up and tell me why I can do it. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to tell you why you can do it. And I thought it'd be fun. Do you guys remember, have you ever played that game, Two Truths and a Lie? So when I was writing out the ideas, I was like, oh, these are 3 truths and a lie. So 3 reasons why your dream is going to work. That's what we're talking about today. And then 1 lie that if you believe it will keep you from making it happen. So before I jump into those things, I feel like it's worth saying, oftentimes, probably not by you guys, because I feel like if you're hanging out, if you're listening to shows, if you're reading my books or going to my events or whatever, we're like-minded. We like to be motivated. We like high vibes. We like energy. We don't always get there, but we're striving, we're seeking, we're wanting something more out of life. And I sometimes think that people like us get a bad rap, right? They're like, you're too hyper, you have too much energy, you're too loud, the world's burning down, it's a dumpster fire. Why are you trying to reach for positivity? Why are you trying to reach for joy when everything feels so hard? And so there is a belief sometimes that there's something inauthentic about reaching for motivation when life is hard. And I honor everybody's right to believe whatever they want to believe. But for me personally, the reason that motivation and energy and hyping each other up and jumping up and down and like changing your physiology, the reason those things are powerful is because the world is a dumpster fire. You don't need that stuff when life is going great. You need that stuff when life is really freaking hard. So much of what we do when we talk about habits and sort of instilling a process and a way to live, it's not for the perfect days. It's not for the great stuff. It's not for the highest highs. We learn these lessons and we implement these practices for when life is hard. And I don't know about you, but life is still hard over here. I don't know. I don't have a single friend. I don't have a single colleague who isn't still feeling a bit burnout, a bit overwhelmed. I don't know about y'all, but everyone I'm talking to right now, it feels like we're kind of falling bad. We were so conscious of great habits when we went into lockdown. But for those of us who still work from home, and maybe for those of you who are even back in an office place, I feel like we've forgotten the things that we needed to be doing that were helping us. So like I really got out of the habit of wearing blue light blocking glasses, and they're on my desk now because I'm trying to be really conscious of that. I got out of the habit of making sure I was moving. I'm like sitting down for meetings because I have a finite amount of time. I'm here with my daughter Noah, she's 5, and I have a babysitter. Thank you, Lord, for our babysitter who comes from 9 to 3. So during the summertime, I have her from 9 to 3, and not every day of the week. Like this week, she could only come a few days. So I'm really conscious as a working mama, okay, I have only that amount of time to get my work done. So my schedule right now is packed, like from as soon as she gets here to the time that she leaves. I'm like, okay, how do I fit all of these things into the time that I have? Because when she leaves, I'm back in mom mode. So I've just gotten into this bad habit again of not taking care of myself like I was in the beginning, like making sure I'm walking, making sure I'm moving, getting away from screens, looking away, drinking my water, doing all of it. And I feel like life has gotten better for humans post-pandemic in some ways and harder in others. But the hard stuff feels harder because we're coming off the tail end of 2 really extreme years, or for you, maybe more. So I want to acknowledge that for most people I know, they're still in it. And even if life is pretty good, the other thing that my friends and I are experiencing and talking about is that there's like this underlying fear. Well, what if it gets bad again? You know, what if what if there's another pandemic? What if we go into another lockdown? What if masks come back? What if this? What if that? What if I run out of money? What if this thing happens? What if my boyfriend breaks up with me? There's this like post-stress thing that is making us worry that the other shoe might drop. And that's only exacerbated if you already had that in your life. So developing habits that sort of keep you going is not for the good times. We do that so that in the harder seasons, we have something to fall back on. And then even amongst the things that we have to fall back on, every once in a while, you just need someone to look you in the eye and tell you, you can do this. You can do this. I believe in you. I think you are worth the dream that you have. I think that there's a reason that dream is on your heart. You can do this. I need to hear that sometimes. And so I thought maybe you needed to hear that. And if nobody else told you today, I'll be the one. So today's episode is straight motivation just for you. And I really freaking hope that you find it helpful. And if you do, send it to someone else who needs some motivation. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Y'all, rate chatter coffee. I did have my coffee. I'm pumped. Okay. 3 truths and a lie. 3 truths about this dream that you have, whatever it is, and why you can achieve it. Straight up. I don't care who you are, where you come from, you can achieve this. And just quick side note on this, there are a lot of people who will argue unto death about all of the reasons why that's not true. They'll be like, but you don't know where I come from. You don't know what has happened to me. You don't know my story. You're right. I don't know your story. But I know the story of so many people historically in books, in my own life, who have achieved things that are so far beyond what anyone thought was possible, including themselves. So I know it is possible to change your life for the better. I know it. And look, till the day that I die, this is the hill. This is my hill. You know how there's like, oh, I'll die on that hill? I will die on this hill. With the belief that every single human being can make change. Not all at once. You don't snap your fingers and suddenly everything's different. But small incremental changes add up. They add up to big things. And it's exponential growth that happens when you begin to believe, truly believe, that this is possible for you. So here's why. Here are 3 reasons why you are going to make this happen. Listeners, NerdWallet wants you to let them do the work for you. Looking for auto insurance? The Nerds will match you with top providers in your area in just a few questions. So getting the right rate for you is as simple as going to nerdwallet.com. After all, letting NerdWallet do the work is more than smart. It's genius. Not all applicants will qualify for the lowest monthly payments. NerdWallet Insurance Services Incorporated. California resident license number OK92033.
Whistle while you work.
From Disney on March 21st, the magical tale
Snow White.
Snow White?
Snow White.
that started it all
I believe you're looking for me.
arrives in theaters.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Experience the Disney classic
Who's the fairest one of all?
like never before.
We haven't even been introduced yet.
Disney Snow White, only in theaters March 21st. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
The first one is because you are a warrior. Okay, don't roll your eyes at me. You have lived through way worse stuff than this. I don't know your story. I don't know what has happened, but whatever discouragement you're feeling, whatever voice in the back of your head that tells you the reasons that this dream can't be yours, I want you to clap back at that voice, call BS and be like, no. Because if I was going to go down, I would have gone down when this happened. If I was going to go down, it would have been when I lost my parents. If I was going to go down, it would have been when I was with an abusive ex. If I was going to go down, it would have been for these reasons during this season. I would have gone down then. But you know what? Life didn't get me. It didn't get me. And so it's not going to get me now. You are so freaking strong. See, the problem is that most people will go through hard things, and because going through hard things makes us feel weak, let me say it again, because going through hard things makes us feel weak, we believe that we are weak. Because going through hard things makes us feel weak, we believe that we are weak. And that is not true. If you have survived something hard, and if you are listening to this, you have survived something hard because you have gone through a global pandemic. If the rest of your life was absolutely perfect, if you had a gajillion dollars, an incredible marriage, a rockin' bod, you were the smartest person, if nothing else, COVID for sure affected you somehow. And because you were on the other side of that thing, that means you were strong enough to survive. How is a muscle built? Think about it. You go into the gym, right? And you're like doing bicep curls. A muscle is built because you're tearing down the tissue of the existing muscle and it's growing back stronger. You grew back stronger. You see the thing that happened and you think that it makes you weak. And I am telling you that the stuff that you have lived through is exactly why you are capable of pursuing this dream. Grab a journal. Grab a journal, and I want you to write down all of the things that you have lived through and overcome. I think that writing like this works best when you sort of do free form. You don't think about it. You set a timer. You're like, I'm going to write for 20 minutes no matter what. And you just go as fast as you can. And I say go as fast as you can because if you go fast, you won't second guess yourself. And just write it down. I am strong because this. I am brave because this. I didn't give up when this happened. I showed up even though I was tired. I was sick. I was hungry. I was homeless. I was lost. I was unsure. I was addicted. Whatever your story is, it's the reason that you are strong. You are a warrior. That's why I know you can push this dream across the finish line. Because look at what you've already done. And y'all, can we give ourselves some credit for the stuff that we don't give ourselves credit for? When I have conferences, when I speak at events, I'm typically speaking to an audience that's predominantly women. And they come from every walk of life, every background, every story. And I'll have this moment with them where I'm like, okay, open your journals and I want you to talk to yourself and to write down all the things that you've done and achieved, and they can't come up with anything. And then someone will be like, I couldn't come up with anything, Rach. And I'm like, oh, okay, tell me about your life. And they start telling me like, well, I've, raised 4 kids and I was just a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, just a stay-at-home mom? Are you freaking kidding? I'm like, are any of your kids in jail? They're like, no. They giggle. No. I'm like, well, tell me about your kids. They start, and they're amazing and they're this and they're that. I'm like, there's no just anything about you. No matter who you are, you unique, glorious human being. There's nothing just, I'm just this. I'm just BS. Celebrate yourself. You have worked so hard. You have. And you're still here. And the only reason you listen to this podcast, the only reason is because you're seeking, is because you believe that there's something more and that it's possible for you to have that. So give yourself credit for what you have done. You are strong. And that's why this dream will be yours. The second reason that I believe that you can achieve this goal is because your creator would not have put this idea on your heart if you were not capable of pulling it off. Period. I cannot tell you how many times I have heard stories from women in the community, listeners of the podcast. They've read the books, they come to conference or whatever it is, and they'll tell me that, over years they heard me say things like this and they kept thinking like, she says that like, I wish that someone would do this thing. I wish that someone would do this. I wish this would happen in my town. And I've had this too, where I'm like, why doesn't anyone fix this? Why doesn't anyone care about these people? Why isn't anyone talking about this? And then I feel like at some point, God or the universe or your angels like knock you upside the head and are like, girl, boy, friend, the reason that you care about this thing so much is because you are the answer. God would not have put this on your heart if you were not capable of seeing it through. Why are you playing small? Why are you trying to show up in the smallest way possible? Why are you like dipping your toe into your dream? You're like, I really want to do this thing. I'm just going to like dip my pinky toe in so that I can pursue it in a way that is the least alarming to other people, that will keep me safe, that will keep the target from my back, that will keep people from judging me. So I'll just like be dream adjacent. I'm not going to be all in on my dream. I'm going to be dream adjacent. It's on your heart for a reason. I believe this. I've talked about this for years because I believe that I heard this quote years ago and I love it. Like that your potential The potential that you have inside of you, that is your creator's gift to you. What you do with that potential is your gift back to the universe, is your gift back to mankind. Your potential is your gift. So you were given this potential at birth, and you were given this dream in your heart of something you think you can create, and you're squandering it because of fear, because of being judged, because of being unsure. I freaking get it. But I want you to hear me say, there is a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason that you have this exact idea at this exact moment in life. So what I always think of in this context is there's a story in the Bible. I grew up in the Christian faith, and so scriptures and stories from the Bible are always going to be a part of my life because it was such a big part of my childhood. And you'll recognize it if you grew up with a similar faith, or this is also in the Jewish tradition, but it's the story of Queen Esther. And if you're not familiar, Esther was a Jewish woman who lived in Persia and, found favor with the king, and the king married her. And all of a sudden, this Jewish girl found herself as a Persian queen. And Jews were persecuted and were killed by Persians. And so there's this moment where she's trying to decide, is she going to stand up for her people, or is she going to be like, yo, I'm a queen now. And so I want to keep this safety and keep this position and keep this wealth. I don't want to rock the boat and get myself in trouble. And there's an advisor who says this line to her that I think of all the time. If you persist in staying silent at a time like this, help and deliverance will arrive for Jews from someplace else, but you and your family will be wiped out. Who knows? But maybe you were made queen for just such a time as this. That's Esther 4:14. Maybe you were made queen for just such a time as this. I love that line because I think often we sort of look down at our hands and we think, who am I? Who am I to believe this is possible? Who am I to believe I could make change? Who am I to think I could break generational cycles? Who am I to think I could help the homeless population in my city? Who am I to think I could be a foster parent? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And you are an individual, a human, like every other world changer who has ever existed. Every single person that you admire, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, like every single world changer you admire was a human who believed that they could. And it doesn't mean that it was easy. And it doesn't mean it didn't come at great risk, at great cost, and sometimes their life. But they, just like you, I'm sure had moments where they looked at their hands, where they looked at themselves and thought, who am I? And what that scripture always makes me think of is you are exactly who you are meant to be in this exact moment, at this exact point. And maybe you are here for such a time as this, for this exact moment. What if, just flip it for me for 1 second. What if you are exactly what is necessary for change? What if? What if every single thing in your life has all lined up to lead you to this moment in time? With the exact background you have, maybe with your exact lack of information, maybe the fact that you're a newbie is what makes it great, maybe your energy, maybe your wisdom, maybe your very specific family of origin is going to set you up for that conversation that's going to put you in the right place. It's on your heart for a reason. And I believe that if it's on your heart for a reason, then you will be guided to where you are meant to be at the time you are meant to be to see this through. Yeah, I got another scripture for you. Oh, I'm taking you to church. Oh my word. Which is hilarious. I need to like start reading other religions books so that I can quote lines from them too, so I can include everybody. But you'll forgive a Pentecostal preacher's daughter if this is some of my earlier learnings, and so they always stick with me. But yeah, you will be guided. One of the most famous scriptures from the Bible is, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." If you grew up in the church or in the church now, you're familiar with that line. But what I always latch on to that I feel like people forget when they're in those hardest seasons, when they want to give up, when they want to quit. Maybe you're in a season like that right now where you want to give up, where you want to quit. And I want you, even if you're not in that faith, to think of this scripture, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Thy rod and staff, they comfort me." You don't need to hear the whole thing, but basically the idea is that even in the darkest moments, the Creator is there guiding you through. And what I don't think people pay a lot of attention, which is beautiful, to like the rod and the staff, they comfort me. I lay down beside, like it's like, oh God, you're giving me this comfort, and thank you in my hardest, darkest seasons, you're giving me comfort. And I find that so beautiful. But what I think that people miss in that scripture is, "Yea, though I walk through the valley." I walk through the valley. I don't lay down and die there. That's what people don't get. That scripture is about being guided. It's not about just the comfort that you get from something greater in the hard seasons. You don't even get that, do you? Like right now, the hard season, right now, post-divorce, right now, you've lost someone you love, right now, you're out of work, right now, you are being guided. You are being guided to the next thing. And if you believe that, and if you stand back up and you keep taking just another step, just another step, just another step, you're going to get out of the valley. And the thing is, the strength that you earned from getting through the valley is exactly what you need to make this dream come true. So I believe, you don't have to believe. I'll believe enough for both of us, that if you have this idea on your heart, there is a reason it is there, and it is possible. It is possible. I have the New Balance 1080s in 2 different colors. I've got the sort of minty green moment, and I've got the white moment because, you need it for the outfit. The New Balance 1080 is the ultimate daily trainer, combining reliable comfort with top-tier performance. Whether you're logging miles or running errands, the 1080 seamlessly transitions from the coffee shop to the grocery store, offering versatility from everything from everyday to race day. The New Balance 1080 midsoles offer cushion support, and I mean it, you guys. It's like bouncing on top of a cloud. Featuring a lightweight and breathable mesh upper, the New Balance 1080 keeps your feet cool and fresh throughout every run. Shop the 1080 at newbalance.com. DirecTV is a better way to watch whatever you want to watch. We all know the frustration and confusion that comes from endlessly scrolling, trying to find your favorite shows. DirecTV brings together your live TV and apps into one home screen, helping you avoid the hassle of plugging in passwords again and again or wasting time searching for what to watch across platforms. With DirecTV, you spend more time watching and less time searching for your show. Sign up for DirecTV today at directtv.com. The third truth about why I know that you are going to achieve this goal, why I know that you are going to make this happen. Sitting up. Man, if you are listening to this on audio and like you need me in your face, there is a video of that for you. The reason that you are going to achieve this is because you have to. There are people who are counting on you. If you have children, counting on you. your family that you want to take care of, counting on you. You are counting on you. Maybe, you're the 12-year-old version of you who first dreamed up this dream, and now you're 46 and it's still on your heart. That 12-year-old version of you is counting on you. Someone is counting on you to see this through. Someone. And that's why you're going to do it. On the days that it gets hard, on the days that it's not fun anymore, on the days that you do not know what you're going to do best, I want you to remember who is counting on you. Who is counting on you to keep going, to stand up, to try again, to look for another way, to call one more time, to reach out to another person, to read another book, to pray again, to meditate again, to take care of yourself so that you have the energy to try again tomorrow. Someone is counting on you. That's why. That's why you're not going to listen to the negative self-talk. That's why you're going to ignore your mother-in-law when she says something crappy about your dreams. That's why you're going to keep pursuing it. That's why you're going to wake up early if you have to. It's why you're going to stay up late. Not because you're trying to burn yourself out, but because you are so passionate about the dream that is in your heart that is all the fuel you need to put in those extra hours. People are counting on you, and you know that there is a life that is different than the one you have today. You know, I'm not trying to sell you on the idea this, just make up, you're going to be a billionaire and whatever. No, there's lots of YouTube marketers or whatever. There's lots of bros that can guide you to that. I don't want that. I want you to live a beautiful life. And what I know about this community, because we have been in conversation and we have been community for 10 years, what I know about you is it's never that. It's never selfish pursuits. It's never, I want to be a billionaire so I can have, boats and hoes or whatever. Every single person I talk to in this community, when I ask them about why they pursue the dream, it is very rarely even for themselves. It's wanting a better life for their family. It's wanting their kids to be able to go to private school. It's wanting to take their family on vacation. It's wanting to be able to contribute to the charities that they believe in. It's wanting the ability to start a nonprofit. I literally have never talked to someone in this community who was like, I want to do it because I really want a Tesla. But freaking A, if you really want a Tesla and that's why you're working hard, you do you. But what I'm saying is it's never that. I feel like people get beat up because they're afraid of pursuing something because everyone sort of twists it or flips it or makes it something that it's not. And if you spend all your time trying to defend your right to have this dream to other people, you will spend all of your energy and all of the extra time defending instead of just doing the work. People are counting on you. Stay aligned with that truth. That's who you show up for when it gets hard. And that's why you're going to make this thing happen. The last thing I want to talk about, because I gave you your 3 truths. You're a warrior. You have this on your heart for a reason, and people are counting on you. So I gave you 3 truths. Here's the lie. Here's the lie that most dreamers believe that keeps them from pushing past the barriers, that keeps them stuck in that comfort zone. The lie is the idea that you need their support. Their support being, I just need my partner to believe in this dream. I just need my mama to believe in this dream. I just need the internet to believe, the venture capitalists to believe, my family to believe. I need my friends to get it. Man, that'd be nice. The amount of times that women especially have come up to me and they're like, how do I convince my husband that it's okay and that it's smart for me to try and write a book? How do I convince my partner that it makes sense for me to start a podcast? How do I convince them? I just feel like I spend so much time trying to, and I feel ashamed and I want them to be supportive and they're not supportive. And no, I did not have that support. I did not have that support. You know how I got the support of my family and my friends and my husband at the time and my in-laws? You know how I got it? I made the dream come true. When you make the dream come true, everybody's a supporter. Oh my gosh, we always knew. We always knew you had it. We knew. And I'm like, for me, the pushback and the fight back and so I got so much grief from, oh my gosh, I got so much grief. I've written about this a ton, but I got so much grief from my in-laws at the time. I got so much grief from my ex-husband. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you getting up so early? Why are you going to these conferences? Like, because I would try things and they wouldn't always work. Like, I'd have a book come out and, the first one, like 1,000 people read it first, and then like 2,000, and it kept growing, but it was never like wild success. And I got so much crap about, what was this going to do to the kids? Like, you're working and kids should have a stay-at-home mom. It sounds so insane to me now. At 39 years old, I hope it sounds insane to you too. I hope that it sounds insane to you that someone would say that your kids are going to be ruined because you're not a stay-at-home mom. But at the time, I heard that over and over and over. Literally, that was the line. Like, what is this going to do to the kids? And I fell for it. And you've made me heard me talk about this. If you want to take a deeper dive on this, and Girl Stop Apologizing, I go into detail. But I pursued my dream, but I did it like under cover of night. So I got up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would write in the morning before the kids woke up. And then the kids would wake up and I'd do breakfast and school drop-offs, and then I'd go to my job, and then I'd pick the kids up, and it would all happen again. I pursued my dream in the dark. I pursued my dreams in a way that would be least hurtful to other people. It's sort of like me saying like, oh, I just dipped my pinky toe in the water because I was getting so much crap from my husband at the time about like, oh, well, this is going to take time, or you should be with the kids, but I'll tell you what, when it finally worked, everybody was a believer. And their memory of how supportive they were was like very different than my own. And I own that. I was too immature at the time to understand that I could stick up for myself. I was too immature at the time to understand that my dreams had value because I have value as a human being. I was raised to believe that my husband's desires, needs, vision, dreams, all of that mattered more than me. So I believed in my heart that the only way I could pursue something more for myself, something that was outside of what he thought was normal, was if I did it in a way that was least frustrating to him. And we talked about this years ago. We had a podcast that we did together, and we used to tell this story, and we used to like laugh about it. And I look back in retrospect and I see it in such a different light, that I would wake up, like I told you, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up to write. And when I would wake up in the morning, I would unplug my phone, on the side of the bed, the alarm would go off, I'd unplug my phone. And the sound of the cord hitting the nightstand or falling on the floor, he'd get so pissed. He'd be like, you woke me up. And he'd get so mad at the sound of the cord. And I learned to get out of bed like a ninja. Like, I was so effing quiet, and I would like tiptoe and like sneak out and quietly lay the cord down and do everything in my power to not disturb him. I'm talking about right now, it's like making the pressure in my chest rise. And we talked about that a lot. We used to like laugh about it because he'd be like, oh yeah, she used to wake me up, waking up early in the morning. And in retrospect, it's taken me all this time to realize it wasn't about the cord. It wasn't about the cord. He didn't like that I was doing something he didn't understand. He didn't like that I was changing. He didn't like that I was motivated. He did not like that I was motivated. He didn't like that I was getting up at 5 a.m. because if he slept for 2 more hours, what does that say about him? That was his thing. But I took it on as my own. And so I just kept being quieter and quieter and smaller so that I would not disturb him with my dreams. And not disturbing someone with your dreams is essentially saying, I don't want to disturb you with who I am at my core. I didn't get that. And I tell you these stories now because I want you to skip the decade that it took me to learn this. Man, what if you could just not waste 10 more years barely pursuing this dream? What if you understood that you had a right to your dreams and you have a right to pursue them, and that there is a way to do it? It doesn't have to be confrontational. You don't have to be like, F you, I'm going after this thing. Like, you just can do it. There's a thing for writers that we say, show, don't tell. When you're writing a book, don't tell about it, show it. Show it in the story. And I think it's the same for you and the way that you live your life. You don't have to have their support. You don't have to have them believe in you, because odds are they won't. You need to believe in you. You only need one person to believe in your dreams. You. That's it. You don't have to argue about it. You don't have to defend it. You just have to live it. And when you live it, you show other people what it's going to be. Don't you get? They can't see it. You're trying to convince people who don't have your vision what it looks like. You're wasting energy. Put that energy, put that heart, put that passion into the project. Byron Katie says defense is the first act of war. When you start to defend your right to have your dream, you give them permission to fight with you about it. You don't have to have their support. God, it's amazing if you do. It's amazing if you do. But if you start off believing that that's the missing piece, that if you only had support, if you only had their guidance, if you only had mom and daddy believe in you, I worry that you're not going to get very far. You got to believe in you. And by the way, that's a hell of a motivation. It is a hell of a motivation to visualize again and again and again when you show them the book, when you cross the finish line, when you do the thing, to imagine what it'll feel like for the people who said it wasn't possible to be like, well, here it is. What's amazing is that by that time, you don't even need that validation because the thing that you did for yourself has been made manifest. But I don't want you to get caught in the lie, this twisted belief that you need them to make this happen. You need you. Everything that you need is already inside of you. The vision, the dream, the potential, the drive, the strength from those past experiences, it's already in you. It's Dorothy and the Ruby Slippers. You've always had the power. When are you going to stand in it? When are you going to own that power? When are you going to believe that there's a reason this is on your heart? Man, who out there is chasing other people's approval? And it's easy to get this wrong. It's easy to think that as a form of protection, that the way to pursue this without needing their approval is through anger, right? Is like to be like, F you guys, like I got this, I'm doing this, confrontational in your face. That's never going to work. The way to pursue this without their approval is through love, not through fear, not through anger, through love. Fall in love with the thing you're trying to do. Fall in love with it. Be obsessed. Be obsessively in love with this thing that you're trying to do. It's all the motivation you need. It's all the belief you need. It's all the support you need. That passion and that love and that joy of what you're trying to pursue is going to carry you so freaking far. You don't need anybody else. You just need what's right here inside of you. Man, I hope I motivated you. Thank you for the time. And I will be back soon with more good stuff. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And remember, I love you and I'm rooting for you. The Rachel Hollis podcast is produced by me, Rachel Hollis. It's edited by Andrew Weller and Jack Noble. Don't miss Grand Slam deals going on now at Academy Sports and Outdoors from March 3rd to March 16th. If you are a sports mom like I am, this is the time of year to get the deals. Get up to 50% off bats, gloves, and training gear from brands like Rawlings, Easton, Wilson, Marucci, Louisville Slugger, and more. Need it fast? Choose same-day delivery powered by DoorDash. Order by 4 p.m., get it by 8 p.m. Shop your local Academy store or academy.com.